Hey guys, Joe Pye here, Advanced Innovations in Austin, Texas. Today's video is about soft jaws, primarily for your milling machine vices. Soft jaws can also be put on fixtures, lathe chucks, a variety of different things, and made out of a variety of different materials. Primarily when I make soft jaws for my mill, they are usually aluminum, and for the lathe, believe it or not, usually cold roll or lead alloy or some type of steel. Just definitely not hardened. That's why they're called soft jaws. You can machine them very easily. There are two features that I incorporate on the soft jaws that I make in this shop, for this shop, and I believe that that is a very applicable, beneficial thing to know. So I'm going to share it with you today, and then I'm going to show you a set of jaws that I've been using here for many years that has come in so handy, increased my productivity, increased my work holding capacity, and I think you're going to like it. So stick around for that one, all right? Let's take a look at the jaws I have sitting here on the bench. I'll show you the first two things that I like to do with every set of milled jaws that I make, and then we'll go over to the Bridgeport, and I'll show you the ones that you're going to slap yourself in the head and go, I gotta have it. But I don't sell them, so you're going to have to make them. So let's do it. Let's take a look. This is an aluminum soft jaw for a Kurt 675 or 688 machine vise. Now, on a standard set of jaws, the hole pattern on a set of hard jaws from a Kurt vise is asymmetrical. It's longer from the bottom that registers inside on the bottom than it is from the top to the center of the mounting hole. Well, when that's kind of pointless if you're going to make soft jaws. Make them symmetrical about the long side. That way you can flip the jaw around and realistically have a pocket on both sides of the jaw. For the extra 1/8 inch or 3/16 of an inch material that you're going to have to add to your blanks, it is absolutely perfect. You can see the footprint on the back of this jaw where the vise actually comes in contact with it in a very symmetrical pattern. Okay, that is hint number one. And I do that on just about every set of soft jaws that I make. Tip number two, once you have a pocket in your soft jaw and your soft jaw has performed admirably up to your expectation, giving you the part you want, somewhere along the line, back to your CNC 0, find a spot, which is probably in the middle of the part, if I had to guess. Move up a given amount, over a given amount, and put a counterbore in there. Then record those numbers on the jaw or on your program sheet. And next time you mount these jaws in the vise, all you need to do is trim that hole, make your offset, set your tool position, or set your offset register position. That would be tip number two. Tip number three, soft jaws, you never know if they're going to go in like this, and depending on how tight the holes are, there could be a mismatch. Track a surface on the outside when you initially make these soft jaws. Run the cutter across the outside. That way when you set them back up, that is the first thing you do, is assure that the outer edges are true, and then you pick their hole up, move over, boom, ready to rock. Okay, double-sided jaw, tooling hole, tracking surface. Every time, guys, every time. Let's go over to the mill, and I'm going to show you a set of jaws that I guarantee you're going to get up from your bench and make as soon as you watch us. Here we go. All right, on this particular vise, two jaws, one front, one rear. The groove on these jaws, if you've ever seen a groove in a Kurt vise, they make a small stop that goes down in there and slides back and forth, and single grub screw on the top, and away it goes. It tightens right up. And there is a similar groove back here where when you're not using that stop, put it right here, lock it down. It doesn't get in the way and you don't lose it. Okay, back to the jaws. When you take these jaws out, these jaws are positioned. You can see the scuff marks from the bottom up, where the screw in this jaw is farther from the bottom than it is from the top. Well, if you're making soft jaws, you've just wasted the whole blank because you can't turn it over. You can put it back in there, but there's no guaranteed registration of parallel to the vise body itself. So if you're going to make a soft jaw, put the mounting holes in the middle. That way you can use the top, flip it over when you're done, use the bottom, tag them, whatever. Let's put these in here, show you the advantage. Hard jaws, you need parallels. Soft jaws, maybe not. Let's change them over and find out. This is a Kurt 675 machine vise. It's a 6-inch wide vise, very similar to the 4-inch wide vise that they make. I am not sponsored by Kurt. I use their vices all the time. and I love them. This particular set of aluminum jaws has a track milled in the back, so I don't need parallels. Comes in real handy when it's time to blow these off. And if you need to mill the end of the part, you can see that this program that was written for these jaws, because these are from my CNC, the cutter will enter the jaw, make the pass, and get out. Done. The end of the part's done. Naturally, you can let it hang over the end of the jaws, but this particular part is shorter than the jaws are long. Problem number one. Actually, not a problem, just a condition. I have 4 vices like this on my CNC machine, and I had hundreds of blanks to make, and it was time to think up something more profitable than just running one at a time. It is not recommended to stick a parallel under here and squeeze them side to side. It has the potential to cave in or blow up. So take a look at this. 2 auxiliary holes in this jaw. There's 2 in this jaw as well. Now, if you don't trust your machine to drill these holes exactly in the same location on these jaws, stack them up, lay them down flat, drill them at the same time. Doesn't have to be precision location, it just has to be identical to the other jaw. So stacking them and doing them all at the same time, absolutely the way to go. Takes all the guesswork out. I'll show you the solution that doubled my output. That little insert in the center is machined at the same height as the stationary and movable jaw in this vise. The rods buried inside each of these jaws keeps the center island at bay. It will not lift up. It does slide back and forth. The width of the parts that you can grip with a setup like this will be regulated by the length of these rods. These rods will go through these jaws and engage the body of the vise. So if you're going to do this with thinner parts, make sure you use shorter rods. That is an ideal setup, guys. I gotta say, this is something that I developed here. Should have done it years ago. This is also a fantastic opportunity to use your digital readout as an incremental and an absolute zero position. So if all your parts are the same, and that's important, if one part changes its width, it will technically be off center from the center position that you previously set. So this is very applicable to parts that are all the same size. Okay, gotta be absolute, incremental, or offset 1, offset 2, away you go. Great addition to your shop. Try it, use it, you'll like it. These are 1/2-inch rods. They're actually 3/16 stainless rods. You could also use drill blanks if you have the cutoff capability to do so. Okay, 500 diameter holes, about 3 inches on center. I do appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. I hope this helps you in your productivity in your shop. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're well, happy, and safe, all of the above. I'm Joe Pye at Advanced Innovations in Austin, Texas, for now, and I'm out. Okay, guys, we got an unsponsored product plug right now. This little guy right here, got this at my local home center. I think it was Lowe's or Home Depot, one of the two. Roto pump. You hook this up to an electric drill. It advertises 12 gallons a minute, but it's more like 2 gallons a minute or less. But this thing will get the job done. It's about 25 bucks. I had about 100 and something gallons of nasty, crude machine tramp oil that I needed to transfer into a containment vessel. And I picked one of these up, and it made short work of it. Good job to the Roto Pump people. Not sponsored. Great product. Shout out. check the video description for a link to this company. Little side note for anybody that has watched all the way to the end. This is scrap material here at Advanced Innovations. And this material is up for grabs. I am putting this on my website. If you're a knife maker, this is 1/2-inch linen phenolic, LE phenolic micarta. Got it in black and natural, I think they call that, but it's a brown kind of tint to it. This will be shipped out in the USPS bulk flat rate shipping, so however much I can stuff in a box is how much I will let go. I'm selling this for about 20 bucks a square foot, which is half of what it's worth on the market. And again, if you're the first one to drop by the shop, I'll give you half of it for free. So bring the phone. Let me know you're coming. See ya. All right, another handy little setup tip for those of you planning on using soft jaws in your machines. You can see that this part has got some irregularities to both sides and would probably not fit very well. Let's not do that again.